So you're looking to buy a home in Boston in 2026, but the real question is, are you actually ready to buy? Because Boston is not your average real estate market. It is competitive, it moves fast, and the timing here can really make or break your success. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what it means to be ready to buy. Logistically, strategically, financially, emotionally, so that when you do decide to move forward, you're not guessing, you're prepared. And by the way, if you're new here, my name is Michael Bryan. I'm a realtor in Boston and the greater Boston area. So if you're planning to buy, relocate, or maybe you're just exploring what living in and around Boston actually means, make sure you subscribe. Every week I put out videos with real estate tips, neighborhood tours, and real insights to help you make smart, confident decisions in one of the most dynamic housing markets in the entire country. So let's dive in. Now, a lot of people assume that being ready to buy a home in Boston means just having a down payment, a good credit score, and maybe a pre-approval if they get around to it. But in Boston, readiness and preparation is so much more layered than that. And really, that preparation starts with, why are you buying a home? What's important to you? Are you looking to stop renting? Are you looking to put down roots? Are you upsizing? Are you downsizing? Are you focused on this home as a potential long-term investment? So long-term appreciation and value is really important to you. You answer that question and it starts to shape the search moving forward. And the other question you need to ask, really it's three questions. What am I looking for? Where am I looking for it? And how much is it going to cost? You answer all those questions and it's just going to guide every decision you have moving forward and guide the search moving forward as well, from the house you're looking for, from the neighborhoods you're focused on, so on and so forth. And again, Boston does reward this preparation and this clarity. And it's not only important to know why you're moving, but also to be a little focused on your search as well. Be ready to know what you're looking for. I've had buyers who have cast way too wide of a net. They kind of just throwing a kitchen sink at the wall, or just, hey, I think we're ready for anything. We're not very picky. But when you're looking for everything, it's tough to find anything. Again, be prepared to be a little bit focused in on your search and know what you really want. And those who hesitate or are looking to find the perfect time to search here in Boston or start up their home buying process, those are the buyers that usually find themselves missing out on great homes that just get snatched up weekend after weekend after weekend. So know your why, know your what, and be prepared. Let's talk about money now, and not just the basics, because everyone focuses so much on the down payment. And as well they should. I mean, it's a big part of the home buying process. Obviously, it's going to be a part of your pre-approval. The better the down payment, the stronger your financial situation, the stronger your pre-approval. And most importantly, the better your potential monthly payment will be over the course of your mortgage, be it 15-year, 30-year conventional, whatever route you're going. But real financial readiness does mean looking at the entire picture. So yes, you do want to make sure you're focusing on that down payment and saving up for that, be it 5, 10, 15, 20% or more. But let's also talk about your credit health a little bit, because your credit score, a strong credit score, is going to unlock some better mortgage rates for you potentially. And it can literally change how much home you can afford. And it's definitely going to change what your monthly payment looks like over the course of your mortgage. Then you also make sure you're looking at your debt to income ratio. Now your lender, whoever you're going to for your pre-approval, whoever you're going to for your mortgage, is going to be looking at that as well. And lenders in Boston's market, I'd say, are typically looking for a number that's under 43%. But again, the lower that debt to income ratio is, the stronger the credit score is, the stronger financial position you're going to be when you're looking for your pre-approval, when you're putting an offer, and especially when that listing agent gives your lender a call to check in on your financial strength, your financial wherewithal, and your agent can say, hey, they're in great shape. So beyond the down payment, the credit score, the debt to income ratio, and all the things that go into your pre-approval and your mortgage, beyond that, you're going to need a cushion. Now, Boston homes, especially the older ones, and there are a lot of old homes here in Boston, they can come with surprises, from heating systems that are failing, from needing a new roof, to property taxes that adjust after you buy a home. Not a lot of people think about that, at the property tax rate for the home as it is listed on the market at that time. But if you're purchasing it, it's going to probably be a little bit of a higher price, and that property tax rate is going to adjust accordingly. So you might see a jump from what it is one year to what it will be the next after you purchase it. So again, be prepared for that. But also having 3 to 6 months of savings after closing. It's just what separates confident homeowners from those who are stressing about the next expense and the next expense after that. So try your best to make sure you have, again, that 3 to 6 months of savings in place for after closing, for any surprises, be it, again, home improvements, home repairs, property taxes, et cetera, et cetera. And don't forget about closing costs. Those are important because between 2 to 5% of your purchase price is going to go to fees, attorney costs, taxes, a lot of kind of extra costs, and maybe you're not thinking about as you're going through the process and before you get to closing. But buyers who plan for all this upfront, of course, avoid that last minute panic about all the things being spent and all the unexpected fees all of a sudden at the closing table, because they're not going to be unexpected for you because you have planned for them. So again, financial readiness is a lot more than just having your down payment ready to go. Now, you've probably heard someone say these things. I know I've heard a ton of people say these things, and it's 2 sentences in particular. It's, I'm waiting for prices to drop, or I'll buy when the rates go down. Why? Why are you waiting for these things? Because let me answer both those things. I'm waiting for prices to drop. You know the last time that prices have dropped in the greater Boston area, greater Boston area? 2008. And in 2008, there was a global housing crisis. So that's the last time that prices have gone down in the greater Boston area. Or I'll buy once rates go down. Guess what happens when rates go down? Competition goes up. So you might end up paying more because the rates are down, more people have hopped back into their home search and into the buying pool, and now you find yourself with competition or multiple offers situation. On top of that, if you're waiting for these things to happen, guess what also happens over time while you're waiting? The prices are going up on your home, your potential home. So again, you may be paying more because you're waiting for this perfect timing. And that's what I have to say about this. Here's the truth. You can't time the Boston market. You can't. It's just too complex. There are too many factors outside of your control. What you can control, what you can time, are the factors in your life. So listen, if things are steady on your end, you have savings in place, you know that you're going to be in Boston or the greater Boston area for at least 5 years, that's what readiness looks like. That's being prepared and timing the market. So because prices are going to shift, rates will absolutely go up and down. So if you're waiting for that magic number, let's say 5, right? So it drops down to 5 and now you're ready for your home search to start. You're starting and you're in the process of going through the home search and the rates go up. They go up to, 525. Is your home search over? Are you just going to suspend things because it's now not on this magic number that you have in your head? Price is going to shift. Rates are going to go up and down. Your needs, your goals, your timing should drive a decision, not the headlines, not these other factors like home prices and mortgage rates were absolutely outside of your control. Prices are going to go up the longer you wait. Mortgage rates are going to go up and down seemingly, every week, month, what have you. So again, people focus on the mortgage rates. I say this a lot. People focus on the mortgage rates, but what is your monthly payment going to look like based on those rates? And not a lot of people have an answer to that question. They just know, oh, the rates are higher, the rates are lower. Okay, that's great. But again, what does that shift mean for what your monthly payment looks like? It might only affect your monthly payment $100, $50, maybe less than that. So again, don't focus on the rates and the headlines. Make sure you're focusing on the important things like your monthly payment. Think about it this way. Whatever rate you lock in at, maybe it is high compared to what you're thinking, but you can always refinance your interest rate later. But you can't go back and find that perfect condo that sold while you were waiting for that perfect time. So the perfect house and finding that going to be more important than waiting for all the planets to align and that perfect time to go buy it. Now let's talk about what the Boston market, the housing market actually looks like as we head towards 2026. And I'm not going to be able to go through every neighborhood section of Boston and in town and city outside of Boston either. But I can tell you we're still seeing strong demand across the city and in the neighboring towns and suburbs as we work our way out from Boston as well. Stories are the same everywhere. And again, I can't go through everything, but just to give you a few examples. South Boston still continue to attract buyers. A lot of development down there. So modern condos. You have that balance between being in the city, being in a Boston zip code, but still having that access to the beach and the water. Similarly, Charlestown offers that balance of historic charm. You also have that access to the harbor and the waterfront and those things. I was just talking to a client just last night about Jamaica Plain. They were really intrigued by the green space available there and all kind of the trails and walkability in Jamaica Plain. Medford, Quincy, giving a little more breathing room and a little more bang for the buck, so a little more space in some of these areas outside of Boston, but you're still having that convenience of being still very close and having that easy access to downtown and to Boston as well. And again, what makes Boston unique is just how things can dramatically change, and how the atmosphere, the vibe, the feel of a neighborhood can change just between neighborhoods just a few miles apart. So again, you walk across that one kind of major thoroughfare, you're in a new neighborhood, and again, you can have a completely different character from whence you just came. So again, that's why being clear about your priorities, location, commute, accessibility, lifestyle, very important, and now more important than ever as you're strategizing for your home search here in Boston. So if you're not sure what fits best or what you're exactly looking for, make sure you're reaching out to me directly. I can help to map out the Boston neighborhoods and what's going to be the best fit for you. Again, that's one of the most important steps you can take with your home search, is getting that knowledge and having a guide for where might be the best landing spot for you. All right, let's shift gears here for a second, because buying a home isn't just a financial black and white decision. And it is. There is that portion of that. But it is one of the biggest commitments you're going to be making in your life, one of the biggest decisions you're going to be making in your life. And so, of course, there's an emotional component to that. How many buyers have I worked with sitting at the closing table, feeling anxiety, excitement, all the emotions in between, a broad spectrum of emotions, all of them, in just the course of sitting at the closing table and signing their autograph way too many times, or way more times than they ever thought they'd have to. So there's the emotional component of being a homeowner and taking responsibility for home ownership. There is an emotional component and a readiness for specifically buying a home in Boston. Boston homes have character. They're older, more often than not, it seems. They have quirks. Again, they have character. Maybe it's a brownstone with a creaky floor. Maybe it is a home that has a driveway that's kind of narrow, and you have to have some finesse to get it out and onto the roadway. And maybe those are factors that are completely okay because you love the look and the feel of your home. Or, hey, this home is right where I want to be, close to downtown or city center. So if you're moving from a different area or newer area, maybe with homes that are not as old as they generally are here in Boston, those adjustments can take time. But again, those quirks, that character, come along with the charm and of living here in Boston. What makes living in the Boston area sometimes so very special. So again, just need to ask yourself, am I ready for the responsibility of home ownership? Am I ready for the responsibility of home ownership specifically in Boston? Am I ready to settle into maybe a community, not just a building? Does this decision align with what I want my life to look like for the next 5 years? So when the answer to all those questions is yes, and when the prevailing emotion is excitement over all the others, anxiety, what have you, that's when buying a home stops feeling like a pressure-filled situation and starts feeling like progress and a goal to be accomplished and achieved. Now, here's something I see trip up a lot of buyers, and really it's the thing that stops the home search before it even begins, and that is waiting too long to get pre-approved, or even worse, going out and starting searching without getting pre-approved. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with buyers who want to go see a house right away. They haven't gotten pre-approved. We haven't sat down to really talk about their home search, explore their goals, figure out the best strategies to achieve those goals, because they haven't gotten pre-approved. In Boston, really any housing market, the market moves so quickly, and without that letter in hand, you're not even in the game. First off, any offer is not going to be considered by a listing agent or seller without pre-approval or proof of funds. Just something that says, we can afford this home and we are able to buy it. So if you don't have that, your offer is getting rejected out of hand. Plus, And this is where the search stops before it even starts. If you don't have a pre-approval, you don't know how much you can afford. You don't know what kind of house you can afford, where you can find it. So what, again, it goes back to what we talked at the beginning. What are we looking for? Where are we looking for it? How much does it cost? You need to figure out how much you can afford so you can start to figure out the house that costs this and what we're looking for can be found here. Or, hey, this is where we're looking for, this is how much it's going to cost, and so this is what we can find there. So pre-approval, again, telling sellers that you have your finances verified, your offer is real. It's going to give you a clear understanding of what you can afford before you start touring homes. Because at the end of the day, if you go out and tour a home, we go tour a home, we go to an open house, we go to a private showing, you don't have that pre-approval in place, and you turn to me and say, Mike, I love it. I want to put an offer in. And we're saying there, we need to get a pre-approval now. What if there's an offer deadline? What if your lender can't turn around that pre-approval in time? But again, it just starts with shaping the search and making sure that we're strategizing for what we can find and what's the perfect home for you, and finding that perfect home. It starts with the pre-approval. So nothing is worse than falling in love with a home that's beyond your limit of affordability or not knowing whether you can afford it at all. So again, the ultimate first step and the ultimate power on the home search is getting pre-approved. And if you want to start the process but don't know where to begin, make sure you message me. Also, just so you know, you can DM me on Mike O'Brien Homes on Instagram or email me directly at mikeobrienhomes@gmail.com. I can always connect you with a few local lenders who specialize in Boston real estate, of course, and know exactly how to structure your pre-approval the right way. Now, buying a home in Boston, really buying a home anywhere, is a team effort. It's not just about you and your realtor going through the home search, the home buying process. There's going to be a team of people helping you along the way. It's all about teamwork when you're buying a home. And you need the right people around you who understand how real estate, of course, works here in Boston, how the housing market works, and of course, understanding your needs, your goals, and how to achieve them. And of course, it does start with your realtor, someone who knows the neighborhoods, understands the nuances of the local market. Then you're going to want a lender who is also experienced with Massachusetts regulations. Again, all the nuances of financing in the Boston or Massachusetts housing markets here. You're going to need a real estate attorney. Again, some states, a title company does title work and legal documents. In Massachusetts, attorney handles those duties. So you're going to need a great attorney to protect your interests, create all those documents. And of course, you're going to need a home inspector familiar with New England homes, both downtown Boston or the outlying areas, familiar with, again, all the quirks, character, nooks and crannies of what homes look like here in New England, Massachusetts, and specifically in Boston, if that's where you're looking. So when you have that team in place, your realtor, your attorney, your lender, your home inspector, maybe you need a contractor too to get some estimates on some work for after closing, but whatever your team is, when you have that team in place, the process is just going to feel smoother, safer, and most importantly, just less stressful. So it's a difference between reacting to problems and having someone there to help anticipate those problems for you and have those solutions ready to go. And again, if you need guidance, putting that team together, happy to walk you through what that looks like step by step. So after all this, the question kind of becomes, how do you know if you're actually ready? How do you know you're ready to begin that home search and when it's all said and done to buy that home? You've reviewed your finances, you've looked closely at the neighborhoods that you think might be the right fit for you. You've built your team of trusted professionals, realtor, lender, attorney, contractor, home inspector, plumber, all the people. And most importantly, you've reached the point where it feels like it's not a risk and it's feeling like the right move. And if you can check all those boxes, then yes, it sounds like you're ready to buy a home here in Boston in 2026. And if you're not quite there yet, that's quite all right too. The process doesn't have to be rushed, but I always say it needs to start with a conversation. Even just sitting down, having that strategy session with a realtor, with a lender, with a financial advisor, and talking through, are we ready? What are we looking for financially? Are we ready to go? Mentally, emotionally, are we ready to go with this? And just talking through the timeline, the logistics of the home search can make all the difference between saying, hey, maybe we do need to wait a little bit. Maybe we do need to save up a little more money for a down payment. Or, hey, we're not quite sure on this neighborhood or this town versus this city. It can make all the difference between saying, hey, we need to hold up for a minute or a second, or hey, no, listen, we are ready to go. We have all our ducks in a row, all the boxes are checked, and we're ready to take those next steps, start up the search with confidence, and find that home. And lastly, something to think about here as perhaps you're ready to start searching and find that home in 2026. When you're thinking about buying, don't just think about the next 12 months or 2026 next year. Think about where you want to be in maybe 10 years down the road here, because Boston isn't a market that slows down very easily. It's powered indeed by some of the most resilient industries out there. I mean, you have tech, you have healthcare, you have education. These industries aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And that in part really drives demand for housing here. And it continues to drive that long-term growth. So owning here isn't always just about having a place to live. It's probably a large piece of that proverbial pie graph, but it's also about securing a foothold or finding a home in a city that is consistently evolving, I think trending upwards. So whether you're planning to stay here, in that first home long term, maybe you're looking for that second home not too far down the line, or maybe you're just going to hold on to it as an investment property in the future. Every smart decision you make here in 2026 is going to set you up for opportunities and long-term success. So again, while you're probably focused on the home search and the immediacy here as we go towards 2026, just make sure you have that long-term thinking cap on as well. So after all that, it definitely can feel like buying a home in Boston is intense, right? There's a lot to it. But when you're ready, when you're prepared, it's going to be one of the most rewarding moves you will ever make. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more Boston real estate videos and insights, neighborhood tours, and make sure you share it with anyone who may be thinking about moving here in Boston in 2026. Or if you recently made the move to Boston and want to hear about your experience, you can drop that down in the comments below. And if you're getting ready to buy, or you just know that your next step is likely to be Boston, you think it's going to be Boston, love to help you create a plan that's going to fit your goals and your lifestyle here in this great place to be. You can DM me on Instagram again at Mike O'Brien Homes, or email me directly at mikeobrienhomes@gmail.com. And before you go, don't forget to check out the next video here on this channel. I do appreciate you watching this one, and we'll see you next time.